Boom. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk about barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. You know what time it is? It is Monday. So you know what that means? You can't start the barbecue week off without starting on Monday. So let's go. Tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. Man, we know him, we love him. Uncle Steve, one of the greatest guys out there. Uh, do anything for you. And through his passion and love of food, came up with a whole line of incredible sauces. Started out with one or two, and now he's sitting on 18, including the sauce with no name. You know, the original, the thick meat, the sweet and spicier, the Gator Shake, competition line, Mi Amigos, Magic Ribs, dessert shake, holiday shake. It goes on and on. Um, Steve wears all the hats. He's mixing the shakes. He's bottling the shakes. He's shipping the shakes. He's taking the orders. He's answering the phones. He's answering the emails. He'll even, if he has a question about your order, he'll call you or email you, figure out your flavor profile and what you're trying to accomplish. His love and passion just speaks volumes. Um, Check him out at UncleSteveShake.com. Follow along with him on Facebook at Uncle Steve Shake Nation. And Uncle Steve shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Royce City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an incredible job. The selection of meats is impeccable. If for some reason he doesn't have something you're looking for, he'll work with you to get it. You need a specific thickness cut, he's got you covered. Fresh produce brought in daily for all us competition guys and backyarders. He's got us covered too. Lines of rubs, sauces, injections, now carrying smoky wood products, splits, chunks, chips, the whole nine. And while you're there, dreaming of your cook, you might get a little hungry. He's got you covered too on that end. Gabriel's mom's behind the counter whipping up some of the most freshest, authentic Mexican cuisine out there. So stop in, say hi, grab a plate, sit down with the boys, talk what we love to talk about, make a new friend that's going to last forever through the barbecue world. Follow them all on social media at Joe's Meat Market or Joe's Meat Market TX. And remember, Joe's Meat Market for the win. All right, let's see. We got Bat, what's up? Daddy Dutch, Tom, what's going on, boys? Yes, I'm late. I don't care. It's my show. I'll be late if I want to. I think there was a song somewhere along there. Or it could be. Someone write it. Larry Vaughn, what's happening? Darian Hill, what's going on? Thank you. Lewis, Trumpet Master, what's happening? Oh, guys and girls, thank you all for tuning in. Just want to get something out of the way. And I got to look to just remember real quick. But my happy ass got humbled quite a bit this past week of the Feed Spot Top 60 Barbecue Podcast list came out. And I, lo and behold, number 5, the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. I can't thank you folks enough for your support over these past 6, closing in on 7 years. Your loyalty, your support, tuning in each and every week from the live stream to the audio downloads on the audio forms. This couldn't have been done without you. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. It is truly honored and humbling to make that list in that spot. There's a lot of podcasts out there and a lot of heavy hitters who have forgotten more about barbecue than I'll ever know. And to be ranked number 5th along those people is humbling and a true honor. So thank you all so very much. Yeah, and also my guests I have to thank too. And one in particular we have returning to today. Oh, what can I say? 140 plus first place calls, 80 grand and reserve grand championships, 3-time California
90.
90. See, well, it's been 2 years, Sterling.
Yeah, it's maybe a few more on the California while you're at it too.
The last I saw was 3-time team of the year.
Well, I might have been a 4th in there.
And a 4th, and the first American Royal winner west of the Mississippi, or something, or west of Oklahoma.
Let's call it Oklahoma. We like Oklahoma people, right?
Absolutely. I know a few boys down there, and
hey, hold on. When we talk about, I'm hijacking your show for a second.
That's all right.
When you think Oklahoma, what do you think of?
Who do I think of, or what do I think of?
In barbecue, who do you think of? Who comes to mind?
Darian Cosmo, and oh, you're gonna put me on the damn! You're not supposed to put me on the spot, Poppa.
Well, okay, I'll go next.
Okay,
Travis Clark.
Clark's Crew Barbecue, yes.
Now you get to draft now.
Oh, David Bosca.
Absolutely, a fellow Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
I'll toss Donnie Teal. Buffalo.
Yes. Donnie, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so enough of my bio. Let's have some fun here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, from Big Poppa Smokers, Big Poppa himself, Sterling Ball. Sterling, thank you, sir, for taking the time to join me again.
I had fun the last time.
Oh, last time. Ooh, it was an interesting, because it was, I believe, May of 2023, but we had originally shot for February, and I had to cancel on you because we got a blizzard that day, and they shut down the studios for obvious reasons. But I was laughing and telling my wife last night. She asked, who do you have on today? Tomorrow night. I go, I got Sterling Ball from Big Poppa Smokers. She goes, oh, very good, cool, very good. And then she looked at her phone and goes, oh, we're getting snow tonight. I go, don't say that. Don't say that. So Sterling, the third interview we do is going to be sometime in August.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sitting in the California desert. I think we were about, the Palm Springs area, and I think we were about 76 today.
Oh, I can just dream of 70. I actually waited. Today wasn't bad. We probably hit the low 40s today. It felt like a nice spring day out there compared to what it was. I was out there cooking some pork butts yesterday, and when I fired it up, it was 8 degrees. So
that I don't even understand that.
Grab an ice cube. It's colder than that.
Okay, that's good enough.
But Sterling, thank you so much. We got a bunch of stuff to catch up to. Like I said, it's been almost 2 years, and you've been a busy man. You've been a busy man as of late, also, and we're gonna get to that uh end of it. But for anybody who might not know who you are, please give a quick rundown of the history, if that is even a thing, with everything you've been blessed to being touched with.
Oh boy, that's tough because I'm old. Um, my main business for my entire life has been a company called Ernie Ball, which is guitar strings and guitar accessories, and then designing guitars under the Ernie Ball Music Man name, where I design guitars for Van Halen, Aerosmith, Motley Crue, Dream Theater, um, you know, you name it, and Maroon Five. I can keep going on. So, and then, geez, about 15 years ago, I bought my son a smoker and I bought one for myself. And I said, I can teach guys how to cook. And so I started making videos then. I've been making videos for 15 years, which um, seems like I should have more followers on YouTube, but we've really kind of been focused on it for the last year or two. And, there's over 400 cooking videos, and they're all my recipes, and I cooked them all. And that's one of the things people don't understand. And when I first got into barbecue, there were a lot of haters because they said, "Oh, here's some executive from California getting into barbecue. It's, people would say it's the best team money could buy." And then I started doing pretty well, and other people started doing pretty well with the products that I developed. And slowly but surely, people learned that I was probably lighting more fires. I still do. I mean, I did this weekend. I'm going to do it tomorrow, and I have a passion for that. I love creating. I love creating food. I love maybe giving people some ideas how to cook. Um, I really enjoyed competition barbecue. I'm kind of winding down because it's winding down out here in California. We didn't have a single contest from early June until last month. We had one in Vegas, which is our market. So that was pretty much 7 months without a contest,
Yeah.
which I think is really sad, really pathetic. But unfortunately, I might not have the greatest things to say about our sanctioning body. But we'll get to that.
Yep.
If you guys wonder, I gave you a little before we came on. I gave you a little
Yeah.
news flash if you wanted to, because it does look like I'm laying in bed because I am laying in bed.
Yeah. Um. So please, it started with
I was playing
I
golf.
with Avenged Sevenfold, which is a
Right.
classic Sterling start to a story.
Yeah, and so with my son Brian, who's CEO of Ernie Ball now, and Sinister Gates, and actually Mark Trumbo, a baseball player that used to play for the Angels and Mariners, and I led major leagues in home runs with the Orioles. Just a good friend of mine. I'm a big baseball fan. But anyway, we played, and the next morning I woke up and I couldn't walk. And I went to the emergency room and I was in intensive care for 8 days, and I was in the hospital for 47 days. And I couldn't walk. I still can't walk. That's why if you saw the any of the content from the Royal, that's the first time I've really been in public not walking in an electric wheelchair. Um, I have an autoimmune disorder that I got from eating a bad piece of chicken that I got in an Indian restaurant. And I got a very severe case, but I saw my neurologist today, and he said my recovery is remarkable. I'm going to make it back, but I'm probably not going to walk for another 4 or 5 months, which is really difficult.
Yeah.
But it's better. When I went in the hospital, I couldn't move anything. I could move the three fingers on one hand. And like I said, it happened so quick and my life changed so quickly. And unfortunately, I couldn't cook the one contest we had, and I couldn't cook the double header we just had in Hollister because I just can't get around. Now, I cooked 3 briskets for a friend with James,
Yep.
James the Flame Press, my partner, and had a real difficult time, but I did it. I mean, trimming was really awkward because I lost a lot of strength on my left side, but I'm going to be back. And, I guess technically it's John Bray I have, or another version of which is MMN, if you want to look that up. But they're autoimmune, but they're pretty debilitating. But I'm not. I haven't gotten sad. I haven't gotten depressed. I haven't why me. I've had a great life, and bad things happen every once in a while. So, and the thing is, you're still seeing recipes of mine come out. That's because I'm so intense. I think they had 70 in the can, and I think
Yeah.
we're down to 20 before they really need some more. But I've started doing it again. So if you wonder why somebody's in a podcast in bed, because I was in the chair too long today. So I am coming back. I am working hard. Um, and James works for me, and James takes me to my therapy appointments, and we scout lunch places. And we have a lot of fun, but it's a very strange thing to lose your mobility. And again, it's a bad deal, but it's not near as bad. Some people lose it forever. I will be
Yeah.
back.
All right. All right. Well, we're all pulling for you. You know that
Wait, hold
we're
on.
all
I'm gonna look at the chat room and see if anybody was. Nope, they weren't. I didn't get any old poor papas. Come on, you slugs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, because I think the last time we were on, you were saying you were filming possibly at least 3 to 4 times uh 4 times. Is that a big papa you're drinking?
Yeah, it is. It's not alcohol. It's a little orange juice, a little cranberry, and some Pellegrino. I don't drink. I used to drink.
Yeah.
It wasn't an issue. I just realized that I probably couldn't carry it around with all the things I wanted to keep doing, because
Mhm.
I've always got a pretty big plate full. I realized I couldn't kind of fit that in. So I don't have anything wrong against drinking. I have no problem with my friends drink, except for when they get stupid and I just go to bed then. But yeah, I don't drink. And it's funny, Johnny Trigg told us when he kind of took us under his wing when we first started. And we're walking, and he says, "See that guy with the bottle of Jameson's there? See," he goes, "you don't have to worry about him." I said, "Well, that's kind of weird." He's, "See those guys doing the Jack Daniels shots? Probably don't have to worry about them either." And it was pretty funny how he said that. But he said, "Hey, being sober in barbecue uh, helps greatly."
Yep.
And I don't know. And look, it's so much of the society and part of it. Like I said, I got no problem, and I look back at such great times in competition barbecue, and like I said, out here we really don't have them anymore. I mean, and if you look at last week, for example, you had a contest in Florida with $25,000 in prize money. You had 9 700s and 2 699s.
Yeah.
Then you go to Omaha, and there was what looks to be a Jack Auto. There was 30 something teams that showed up for a $1,925 prize pool. So on one side, you've got, I mean, I don't want to disparage or be disrespectful, but I very rarely believe when I see 10 700s that there were 10 700s. I just think there are people not using, it's very hard to do that, I think, to
Yeah.
get 10, 9 700s and 2 699s. And then we had in California where I think a 691, they only paid first and second place. Brad Leininger the first day came in third with 3 calls and didn't cash a check, which is very painful to me because I spent so much time trying to get him to spread the money around. And that was the intent behind the Smithfield grant that I wrote, and Emily Detweiler and her team rolled out. But it was, if you wanted the money from Smithfield, you had to pay 10 deep. You had to have kids queue and all that. So every week it's different depending on the city. I mean, it just seems like that it should be a lot more. Um, it should be more similar. Um,
Yeah.
we have a J Cup, which is supposed to be the Childs, and a lot of people spend a lot of hours writing. They didn't make it mandatory, but they haven't updated it in 3 years. So that's kind of maybe one of the reasons why you see so much difference depending on where you are and as far as the tables go. But we're down, I think, 40% at least in contests. The judges, I think, are down that much too. KCBS used to have big sponsors. They don't have any now. I think Turkey Smoke Love too, but Smithfield was there, and um, they haven't replaced any of them. So it's
Yeah.
very weird. And I think that somebody should be asking him about that. But
Yeah.
I guess I just did.
Yeah, it's been now up here in the Northeast, we're actually getting some more contests. We've had a couple that have changed and gone away, but um we have, obviously we have the KCBSs, but we have been moving in the CBA out of Texas, Champions Barbecue Alliance. So
Really?
we had one CBA contest
In Rhode
last year
Island, right?
in Rhode Island. Yep, 4th of July weekend. And this time, I was just talking to Matt Pereira from Matt's Backyard Barbecue, who put that event on in Rhode Island. And this year, this season, we have on top of the KCBSs, we have 7 CBA events. So there's going to be a lot of cooking up here in the Northeast.
I love that. What did you think? What was the difference in CBA for you?
I loved it. It both are fun. It's a lot of the same guys, things like that. A few different rule changes. It seemed very more laid back. The 1 hour turn in time, I thought was great. You have if you're running behind, or you have more time to put the absolute best in the box. You're not messing around with the garnish. It's a piece of tinfoil, but you can really play on setting up your box a particular way, for the best presentation. And like I was saying, if you are running behind, you just got an extra half hour to catch it up.
Was there any
Um,
financial benefit?
um,
I
I,
know. I know it's cheaper for the promoters.
it was cheaper for the promoters, and I believe Matt was saying that this year, I think the most expensive sign up entry fee is $275.
With
The
what kind of prize pool?
um he really hadn't gone through the prize pool, but he was just saying he was working with that, and trying to keep it low, because the KCBSs are up 350 anyway,
Oh,
to start.
it was 400 a day for a double header in California with $6,000 a day in prize money. And if you didn't come in first or second, you had no chance of recouping.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, it was very well received. Um Everybody was laughing their ass off, because they were having so much fun with the walk-up music. They thought
Yeah.
that it was great. It's very, it's more put in to have fun with. You're sitting there waiting to hear your song come on, or but it was a great time, great experience. I'm glad it's coming back, hell, tenfold. Um, Fuck it, I'll go there. The scoring,
Yeah.
the judging, I absolutely loved it. I was able to. I didn't cook that event. I went down for support and do some live coverage and stuff like that. So I was able to go into the judges meeting for it to see. So I saw all the inner workings of how it's done, and they use technology. You
Yeah.
know, they set up a network. They have their whole bag of cell phones that attach there, so there's no more pen and paper. It goes right into the database, calculates as you go. There is room to put comments and things of that nature. But so after the event, was talking to a few people and we were going over the scores. And while, like I said, I was able to be in the judges meeting, and there were one, two, three judges that stood out to me. They had hats on and golf shirts, which said, KCBS. They were KCBS master judges, sanctioned judges, however you want to put it. Had their lanyards on and everything. And going through all the rules and how you judge the proteins that you're going to score that day. They went through this is how the CBA runs it. And they put straight out that it was a little different than KCBS. Everything with CBA is knife and fork. You don't take none of the protein leaves the box except the piece that you slice with a plastic fork and knife. So everything needs to be quote unquote overdone so you can cut and take it out of the box. And there was a little bit of questions on some of the scores on tenderness and comments. Low scores, and the comments were ribs were overdone, brisket overdone, falling apart. Okay. I could almost sit there and go, I got a 3 for 3 on who those particular judges were
Yeah, absolutely.
because they
Because if
have it
it
in their mind.
KCBS.
Yeah.
Look, Fred Robles is I think one of the best cooks there, one of the best men. Okay, I dearly love Fred, love his family. He's been a BPS team for a long, long time, and I don't think he got treated very fairly with IBCA. And boy, did they come back strong.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think it's interesting that they're so welcome. I mean, I'd love to cook their stuff. I really would. Um, and that makes me happy that they're growing. It's too bad that KCBS is losing that. They had a contest in Missouri that Tim Shear cooked 53 teams, and he just assumed there's a 53 team KCBSer. But they had like a double rib cook off with the Rib Association.
Yep.
Like they had 2 steak contests, and I'm not sure what else they had. They may have had a CB. I don't think so, but uh, of the of the 50 or 60 something teams, only 16 opted to hook this KCBS. So, I mean, I think people, I don't know, is anybody in the chat room saying anything?
Steven's back. No, they're kind of were joking. Uncle Steve came in, said he's watching Pit Life wearing his outfit that matched Kanye West's wife's. So they're kind of joking about that. But no, the only one was the earlier Daddy Dutch said 36 teams and a 697 won it. I think that one of the contests from last week. Um,
Well,
in,
look, maybe I got the number wrong on the first day. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I was watching it pretty closely, and it's pretty tough. I mean, somebody's got to break even at a contest. You have to be able to at
yeah,
least break even. And if you have a situation like, when I did the guinea pig, 22% that entered cashed a check. I like that
yeah.
odds better.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, or actually 22 broke even. But, and, King of the Smoker is another one. But, look, I'd like KCBS to get it together. Um, I'd like to see Fred continue to grow barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
It's now, he has more contests in Texas than I think we have in the entire country, KCBS. So there seems to be an appetite to cook his stuff.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to doing it.
yeah. It's like I said, I when I was down there, I saw the inner workings on both ends, or all three ends, on the cook side, on the judge's side, as the on the CBA promotion itself side, and they got it down pat. It was a smooth operation.
Is there anything for the fans, for the patrons? Do they get to eat food or?
This last year, no. Um, it was somewhat of a. It was a closed event,
Okay, cool.
but they had social media. It got out there, and there were people, patrons came to check it out and see what it was all about. So there was definitely an interest from outside of the competition world. So the public saw it, went, what is this all about? And we there were folks walking around talking to the different people and everything, and people were holding court, and our mutual friend Billy Gillespie was there holding court and talking to people, explaining, what they do
Oh,
and all that.
would you give Billy a noogie for me when you see him?
I will for sure.
He's one of the greats,
He is such a
and really,
smooth,
really a nice man.
really great guy. Um, but yeah, it was very well received. Now, so now this year, I don't know how many of the seven are going to be attached to festivals. So there will be food for the public, at least on a handful of them anyway. So,
Fabulous.
which does nothing but help grow it, because
Well,
they're going to remember it.
I've said it so many times. People go to a contest to rub elbows with the greats and to taste good barbecue and learn something. And it's really kind of hard to do any of those things when you show up to a KCBS contest.
Yeah,
So, I went to Kansas City, right?
I do know you went to Kansas City for the little something called the KCBS Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was. It
First
turned
off, congratulations, Sterling. Well deserved. Um, you know, you came in, like you were saying 15 years ago, and have been nothing but consistent,
I, I
with everything is due.
try
So
really hard.
so
Still do.
to get the call that you're going to be in the inaugural class of the KCBS Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
What hit you? What was running through your mind emotionally, mentally?
Well, I have to be really careful because I think that some of the people in the other Hall of Fame think we're trying to. I have a lot of respect for the other Hall of Fame, and they don't like it when I say this, but I did rate the white paper on that one. Okay, so in the black apron and all that stuff. So um, this one was really critical to me, and I wrote the basis with Emily Detweiler when Emily was CEO. I said, we need to it makes sense to recognize KCBS cooks. Now, if you look, we don't get a pin for cooking our 100th contest, or we don't get a pin for our 50th GC or whatever. And very rare. I mean, this month, uh, the 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 bullshit does have a cook on the cover, Chunky
Mhm.
from up there, but generally they never put a cook up there, and they don't promote wins. They only promote 700s and 180s. So it'd be nice if they rode those stars, but with social media, it's so easy to project yourself as one of the big stars, and then when you kind of look at the stats on Barbecue Data, you say it doesn't add up. So we took 9 or 10 categories. I had Darren Worth, Travis Clark, Brad Leiniger, Tim Shear, Tuffy Stone, uh, as guys that I bounce things off of, okay, to get it right. And it was all ready to go. And Emily left KCBS. And then I won't go into very much details. It was announced in Alabama, and then the management of KCBS didn't want to do it, and they killed it. And then David Qualls got back on the board, and Thomas Gerhardt and Childs, and the board voted unanimously, since it had already been announced, to do it. But the key thing is they rolled it out and they didn't pay attention. There's an order to it leading up to the fact where you could kind of follow it. Because I'm going to ask you, who's statistically, based on the data we have available, who has the most points? Take a guess.
As in to get into the hall,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Well, who's of those 9 categories? Category wins, majors, team of the year, all that stuff. Who would be your first guess?
Darren Worth
And
from
uh,
Smoky D's.
but see, it's a team. So Darren probably would be if you could add Smoking Clones in there. But it's Brad Leiniger,
Oh,
and it was really
okay.
it was important, and they just did it alphabetical, and they never explained the points that they didn't know who they were putting in until they put a name with the points. So when you get to 2,000 points, you're a Hall of Famer. You'd be surprised how many people are 1,000 points away that you thought had won as much as the people in there, and they haven't.
Yeah.
So I know people got really upset at a couple of things, but it was really because it wasn't explained to them.
Hmm.
And also they still haven't published the data, and they may not publish the data to qualify, which I have a problem with, because there's a lot of teams that are really close. If they knew how close they were, they'd keep cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, to have that point system. When I first heard you talking about it, um, I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. You know, because the other Hall of Fame Who's in is in. That's fine. Somewhere along the line, your contribution to barbecue got you in. Who the hell am I to say whether someone belongs in the Hall of Fame or not? But as far as barbecue, and I am a bit of a history buff. I still don't understand how the hell Henry Ford is in the Barbecue Hall of Fame.
Okay, I'll
I
explain that to you.
I
I
know
got,
the Kingsford was his brother-in-law, and using every single material not going to waste, he came up with making charcoal. But
look, hold on. Let me explain something to you. It's very, very simple. There were 3 categories in the Hall of Fame I wrote: cook, a celebrity, and an industry person.
okay,
Okay, now the industry person usually works for a company. What do you think Ford did when Henry Ford got put in the Hall of Fame? They wrote a check.
mm-hmm,
Okay, but other
gotcha.
people have got. But David Knight, he didn't. It was he got in because of what he did with Old Hickory. Okay, but some of the stuff, and the one that people take, and Rempe won't let go of it, and I think this was Rod Gray's choice for some of the people there, but um, the one that people still are so butthurt about is Guy Fieri. And what you do there is you got media. And by the way, Guy Fieri's helped more barbecue restaurants than any
Mm-hmm.
media person there is. Still, Darren says when his diners and drives in plays again,
Yeah,
reruns, it's 35% more revenue. It's
yeah,
the things he did for companies during COVID, restaurants sending him cash, but he did compete in barbecue. But
yeah.
the media and the celebrity you put in is really to leverage the message and the PR. So there's a lot of things that happen. And unfortunately, it happens in all these. There's a reason for everything. And, I'm just being very honest that Henry Ford was a novel one and pretty interesting. But there was some cabbage involved too.
Oh,
Did that
money
help you at
talks.
all?
That helps me. Yes, that clarifies it. But
But
on
also,
your,
mine, if you didn't look, hopefully they'll publish it and you can take a good look at it. But
yeah,
it's category wins. It's you get a point for every contest entered. Um, the majors account more. Team of the year counts the most. We believe that team of the year is the hardest thing to do,
mm-hmm.
but there's also the fewest trying for it.
True, very true.
Okay, and right now I think that those people that think they're going to beat Brad, they better start cooking. He's got 4 GCs already.
Yeah,
And it's February 3rd, and the guy's got 4 grand. I think he's motivated.
yes, for sure, for sure. The one part of it I loved, and you hit upon it. Um, you went in as a team,
Right.
and you had done once the word came out. You had done on your YouTube channel a video
With
where
James.
with James, and what a video it was.
And by
Because
the way, you couldn't see the wheelchair either.
no, you couldn't. No, no, no. But you sat there and explained to James that he's in too. He is part of the team.
Oh wait, and there's
So
some
it
cooks. What look, here's the deal with James. There's been some people that say, okay, James does all the cooking. I won the Royal before James I even knew James, and James was a truck driver who drove for the Vans Warped Tour for Ernie Ball.
Mm-hmm.
James was my truck driver, but he kept showing up, and instead of going to the hotel and resting, he was watching. So I taught him how to cook. Listen, James is a phenomenal cook. James is a phenomenal partner. James could be one of the most liked people in all of barbecue. And you know what? He deserves all of it because
Mm-hmm.
he is one of the kindest, most helpful, big hearted guys I know. I mean, he came to me in the hospital, and I don't want to talk too much, but he wasn't used to seeing me like that. And he said to me,
Yeah.
"Boss, I'm with you every step of the way back." And he has been.
Yeah.
I mean, even a Saturday shows up at the door with a bag of tacos just to make sure I'm okay, or an In-N-Out burger or something. So,
Yeah.
and I thought it was important because the teams. I mean, it takes a team. You know,
Absolutely.
Darren and Sherry. I mean, Sherry's a
Yeah.
huge part of that team. You know, and
Yeah.
so I like that it was teams too. I hope everybody,
Yeah.
when they understand it, can understand that it was trying to be really trying to create data that took hype out.
Yeah.
Okay, where it's just okay. Did you make it in there? And you did. And you
Yeah.
know, I've had some people say some nasty things about me making it in there, and I really am worn out with the nasty stuff
Yeah.
because I've ever done is help people.
Yeah.
If they have a question, you ask anybody in California if they want to know something. I'm happy to help them. Always have been for 15 years. So one of the things I got tired of is that some of the sniping on the internet towards people I really care about or towards me. Just we're all just cooking meat, you know.
That's it. We're cooking meat in parking lots. That's what we do. That's what we love.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it's up to someone's opinion of what we cooked, and it is what it is. But we love doing it, and we go out each and every weekend or whenever we can. And whether it's sanctioned or it's king of the cul-de-sac with the neighbors, it's bringing everyone together through food, through barbecue. Um, but yeah, I was thrilled with that, and like I said, that video you did with James was incredible, and listening to Darren on his show, he was he kind of hit on the same thing. He was going up to get the award, and he said to Sherry, "What are you doing?" Well, you're in. He goes, "No, get your ass up here. This is Smokey D's.
Right.
You are Smokey D's. So
Yeah.
come on. This
Hey,
isn't this isn't a Darren Worth thing. This is a Smokey D's."
yeah, but you know, Darren Worth is a wonderful man. He said
Yeah,
very nice things about me on the podium when he was getting his award. I really appreciate it. But Sherry is just as good as they get too. So
yeah,
I love seeing that. You know, and
yeah, for
James was on
sure.
the stage with me. James the Flame. So look, I think that the people I think it was a fun thing. I think it was exciting. I want to address one other thing because there's a lot of things saying, it's just pretty much your guys' era. Well, KCBS, I don't blame them, but they didn't save any data. Okay. And we only had data, I think, to 2013 or something, but barbecue data had it back to 2007. I don't want to talk about the Hall of Fame ever without thanking Mark Kinney at Barbecue Data because the fact he had it, he was able to uh, create the proper sorts to get us to find out who it was. So,
Mhm.
guys, if you subscribe to Barbecue Data, um, this guy puts a lot of work into barbecue for pretty much no money, but he made it happen and it was wonderful.
Excellent.
By the
Excellent.
way, I wrote it. I need everyone to know I had no idea whether I'd be in it or not. And I really, I don't, it was frustrating me that some of the people that, and I don't want to be critical of the other Hall of Fame because they really do a great job,
Hmm.
but I kept waiting for Darren to get into that one. And he's in now, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But, when we're talking about KCBS and recognizing our own specific, that there should be no waiting for a Darren Worth to be in there.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
um, all of them from Smoke Me Silly was so great. And by the way, vote for Lex. I'm just going to put that out there. I think she's a rep and a cook. She's a Hall of Fame cook, and I think she has really good ideas to help KCBS. And I know there's a runoff for one spot. There's 11 people, but consider voting for Lex. I think she's phenomenal.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. There was another video you did that came out a few months ago that I was waiting patiently for from the last time we spoke, and it finally came out. The professor and
Oh, the professor and Poppa.
what a what a yo Sterling. Oh, that
I
was so
promoted.
fun.
Nobody saw it. We have a second episode, and it's just sitting in the can. But if you guys get a chance,
That
it's
was
on
a,
YouTube. And if you want to see two people, Tuffy's a French trained chef and a Marine. I'm a guitar builder in California, and Tuffy's one of my closest friends in the world. And when you watch us in the kitchen, it's friends communicating through food.
mm-hmm.
And by the way, we went to the market together. We didn't. Neither one of us wanted to come in there with anything planned. We went shopping and came in. So all of that was spur of the moment. And by the way, the food was really. Um, I got lucky, and Tuffy's always great. Great. The people we had over go, oh my god. But if you guys get a chance, look at the professor and Poppa, because it's not about politics. It's just about two friends who really enjoy creating.
Yep.
And I'm glad you liked that.
Oh,
That
I
makes me
loved it.
happy.
I loved it. And two things that really stuck out with me on it was the first one is something you said that as a guitar player, we jam.
Yeah,
As a cook, this is the culinary version of jamming.
it is.
And I loved it. I'm like, oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. The second thing that got my attention was something Tuffy had said that you cook with all
Your
senses.
senses. Yeah.
You know, how important is that in your opinion? Because it's
Well, he says in that film, he says something that both you and I teach a lot because we taught a lot together with Smithfield and went around and that's one thing we both did. And I'll tell you, I learned it from a chef in New York named Tom Colicchio, and he owned Gramercy Tavern. He's one of the owners of Made In. I think he's been a host of one of those big TV shows.
Mhm.
But I'm reading the Tom Colicchio fruit cookbook, and he says, use all your senses. If you hit that pan and it's screaming at you, it's too high. If you put the food in and you don't hear anything, it's too low. And it goes through all the things. Smell, you can tell. Um, so I think that that's something that everybody. It's one of the most important things you can teach. And then something else I teach that Tuffy teaches too is smoke as an ingredient.
Mhm.
So, and I want to make sure I don't get away from this, but one of the complaints of the Hall of Fame were guys that didn't get in that were older, and we had presented to KCBS, that they to nominate them and let the existing Hall of Fame let one or two veterans in a year and catch up that way. So some of the older teams that were kind of offended, they didn't understand that we had it covered. It just didn't get rolled out that way.
Mhm.
But you'll see next year, some of the good old names coming in that really deserve it, that shouldn't be punished because there wasn't data.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah.
I am
So,
really glad you like that Professor and Poppa
oh,
video.
I loved it, and now I'm
I,
because my another question was when are we getting more? So you said you have one sitting
yeah, we
in the
have the
can.
Denner one, but the problem I think I only had and please, whoever checked my numbers on the scoring in California, we didn't get, if he looks it up, I mean, if we got 100 or 200 views, I'd be surprised. I was really disappointed because I thought it felt good. You know what I mean? I thought it
Mhm.
was something where we weren't trying to sell you anything. We only
No.
used, we didn't use his rubs. We used nobody knew what rubs because it didn't matter. Although we were using a lot of Hallelujah lime, both
Yeah.
he and so he made a comment. It's this new rub I came up with. This is jalapeno lime, and he's smiling at me.
Yeah.
Um, but let me tell you, you guys all know it. I'm getting towards the end of cooking. Being sick doesn't help, but like I said, I will be back. Uh, Hopefully sooner than later. But the things I look back on are the relationships that I developed with Tuffy, with Darren, with Steph Franklin, with Tim, with Brad, with the Big Ginger, Travis, and yeah, seriously, massive respect and tons of love. I mean, and when we all get together, it's really something. It's pretty fun,
Yeah.
And like I said, you look at all of them. In barbecue, you have a situation where usually people they go into a hobby and a business breaks out,
Yeah.
and some of them aren't very successful. Sometimes barbecue people end up losing their jobs and families get busted up, and then there's the ones where Darren or Brad, or I think right now probably the guy I'm proudest of is what Tim's done with Blues Hawk, Tim
Yeah.
Shear. I mean, he's done a tremendous job, and I love his success. He's just a good guy that had and was earning while he was learning. He never did any marketing, never did any of that stuff, and he's really done a brilliant job.
Oh yeah, especially with what you're saying, the Blues Hog brand. I go to a lot of stores now, and they're in there.
Yeah,
From the different grocery stores that are carrying, the barbecue sauces, the hardware stores that have all the carrying the seasonings, the sauces, the charcoals,
yeah.
everything. Blues Hog is out there in full force, and yeah, Tim has done an incredible job.
And by the
Taking,
way, you guys all know this, but I don't know how much you really know. He's really, really good.
yeah,
No, I
yeah,
mean everybody thinks he's been Tim. Tim just always lands on his feet, even if he's late. If something else is, he always pulls up. And Tim's all of those guys are great cooks. Okay, I mean you don't you don't sustain it a long time. Okay,
hmm
I never cooked more than 25 contests, and that was hard. I mean, I think I did, and you can fact check it, 3 or 4 years in a row where I was number one in the country, um, 25 contests or fewer. That was hard to do 4 years in a row. But what was really hard to do was to amass those points over a long period of time.
yeah.
And the fact is that I was a factor in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And man, it's hard. You need a lot of luck. You need good fortune. You need discipline. You need a palate, and you need some money. But it's hard. You know that. I mean, it's a hard
Oh,
game.
for sure, for sure. It's just like they said. You want to make $1 million in barbecue, start with five.
And it's almost like playing jazz. So, what else do you have for me today?
Oh. it was just like I said, I wanted to touch base with you on the Hall of Fame, all that, Professor and Poppa, and you like I said, I didn't know you were going through some stuff, so at least now I know, and I'm pulling for you. Daddy Dutch, thank you very much. He just put up the link to your the Big Papa Smokers channel.
Oh, thank you
And
so
and
much.
then he says Tim is really good and really short. Well,
Oh
Dutch,
yeah.
you know, you're 6'5", you're 6'7" in a pair of Nikes, so most people are short.
I think Tim's 6'7" or 6'8", but you know what's really funny is that we had a measure off between him and Cooper Clark. Travis's freshman is the same
Oh,
height,
oh
same
no
height
kidding.
as Tim. It was hysterical,
Yeah.
and he's one of the
Uh,
best, I guess, football players in that region.
oh, really?
Yeah, it's just big. Hey, listen, um, I never got to cook in the Northeast. I wish I could have. I probably you never say never, but I'd love to go up there and do it. But I'm pretty much kind of winding down. I think I'm only going to cook 4 contests a year from now on, and only if they're close by and a place I want to spend a weekend in.
Hmm.
We had one. I'm going to talk about the good old days, but we had a double header on the beach in Huntington Beach, which is Surf City, USA.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And Scott Nelson at Pigskin, I don't know if you remember him, he would come out and cook it every year. And we had him on the bay in Newport. We had Dana Point was one of the greatest contests ever. And they're all gone. And most of the places we go aren't particularly desirable. It's not that good. So I'm only gonna go if my friends are gonna be there, if it's a place I want to be, and I'm not going to put James on the road for 20 hours to cook anymore
Yeah.
because I meet him there. So it's probably 4 times. But if I do get up there, you're going to hear from me. Okay.
Sterling, the door's open, my brother.
All
Anytime
right.
you want, you hit me up and we'll get it. Hell, you and James hop on a flight. We'll find the equipment for you.
All
James
right.
don't gotta call.
Oh yeah, and listen, congratulations on that ranking too. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was truly humbling from where this had started almost 7 years ago, back in 18, to where it is now, and
Like you
the
said, you went into a hobby and a gig broke out.
that's it. And I truly am blessed. The relationships, the friendships, the family I've built through barbecue. Um, I've met,
Hey,
I would never have met you without barbecue.
I know, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, want to see if anybody has any questions before I go in the chat?
Sure.
Is there anybody around there? Yeah, because be happy to I'd be happy to answer any of them, or if they want a clarification, or they think I said something really stupid. That's happened before,
Uh,
quite often.
Daddy Dutch, 1,985 more points in Hall of Fame. Here we come.
Hey, you're almost there,
uh,
buddy, and you're tall.
yeah. And he had also said that that 697 was in Omaha last week.
Okay, great. I didn't know. Yeah, listen, there's nothing wrong with that, and there were fine teams. I'm glad he brought that up. My issue with Omaha was a 1,925 team $1,925 prize pool.
Yeah.
It's just listen, it's pricing everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, what do you think it costs you to cook a contest?
Oh,
Is your wife around?
oh no, she's on her way home, but no, she's there right with me, so she knows. Believe me, I go to work to make the money. She holds on to the money. So,
Good.
so she knows every dime that goes into it. It's easily a $1,500 weekend between
Yeah.
entrance fees, proteins, anything you need. We're stocked up. But you need charcoal, you need some foil pans, you need a roll of foil, that stuff adds up,
You need
you know,
gas.
gas,
Do you have a trailer? Do you have a trailer?
no. We load everything in the pickup truck and everybody in the cab and away we go. And I have a pull behind trailer smoker, but no, not a full trailer.
Cool.
So it's all that. So yeah, easily 1,500 a weekend. Sometimes two grand. Um,
I was talking to somebody. They said, well, it only cost me $600. Really? What kind of car do you drive now? Well, I got an F-350 or Ram 3500. I said,
yeah.
well, what do you use that for? Well, just barbecue. I said, well, you need to figure that you need to hammer that in your
Hmm.
cost. You got a trailer. And then the one I got him on is, I said, so what about your trailer? He goes, well, we're building a building for it right now, but now I store it at the mini storage. You go, how much is that? He goes, 1,200 a month. I said, how many contests did you cook last year? He said 12. Well,
Hmm.
there's
Yeah.
$1,200 onto it. So, I mean, some people don't know they're spending 3,000 because,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have to amortize those costs. So anyway, that's not how I started. It's how I ended up. I started the same thing with just smokers, and tents, easy
Hmm.
ups. Are there any other questions there?
No, that was it.
Well,
Um,
I did such a compelling job. Nobody cares.
I kissed Sterling. I had my questions answered.
All right. Hey,
But brother,
Johnny, you're the
thank,
you're the best, and win a lot this year. Okay.
I'm gonna try, brother. Thoughts and prayers and good vibes heading your way. Um,
I can use it. Boy, you just don't know what it feels like. I mean, it feels weird to have all of your capacities just overnight be gone.
yeah,
I mean, I play guitar, I cook, I do all this stuff, and I couldn't move a muscle.
yeah, scary, very
All righty,
scary.
but I'm going to beat it, and I'll be back.
Absolutely, Papa.
Thank you,
Thanks so
John.
much for the time, brother. We'll do it again. I'll be in touch.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sterling. Bye. Oh, guys, awesome. Sterling, such a great guy. Um, I know he was very passionate with the hall and getting in, and I wanted to talk more about that. But thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, can't do this without yous. Thank you all for tuning in every week, whether video or the audio. Number 5, top 60 list, and I'm sitting at number 5. Kind of got the wrong fucking accent to be sitting at number 5 of barbecue. But thank you all. I love yous. Thank you so much. Next week, I'm going to be joined by Kathy and Tom Trainer of Inclusive Barbecue Events. They're holding a special event that is putting the cooks and the judges together, which is going to be interesting, and I love it. So we're going to be discussing how that's set up, and obviously the goal of it is to kind of get everyone on the same page of what the cooks are expecting, what the judges are expecting, and back and forth, and how they judge and how we cook. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation next week. So tune in for that. But like I said, thank you, Sterling, for joining me. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.